Hey, what's good? When there's that under 18 in the clutch, and we were gonna talk about some very interesting, some major corrupt news that just happened last night in the NBA draft lottery, and this is just like so blatant and so stupid obvious, like how just rigged and fixed like the NBA can be sometimes. Like they don't even shame themselves at one point, which is ridiculous. And I'm referring to the fact that the Dallas Mavericks are getting the number one pick, most likely going to be Cooper Flagg, the standout prospect from Duke, despite having a 1.8% chance in the draft lottery. And the fact that they were able to just somehow, with the one or two ping pong balls in that machine, just land it right in their lap, it's ridiculous. I mean, like, you don't even have to be a fan of the NBA. You don't have to be like a mathematician to look at this and realize this is not suspicious or anything like that. Like, anybody can think that and be like, something's off here, especially given the context of the situation. Because even though it's been like several months now, everybody's still talking about it to this day, how when the Dallas Mavericks traded Luka Doncic, the man who led them to the finals the previous year, they just gave him away for Anthony Davis, who is a great player, don't get me wrong, but he's aging and he's been having concerning injury histories practically since the start of his career. You trade him to an already aging Dallas Mavericks team with Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson as your main guys practically. That's not a recipe for success. And when I hear stuff like, oh, it's the injuries, oh, we didn't have a full squad. If we were healthy, we would have made it far in the finals. Yeah, no kidding. You bet so, right? Really? Well, you know that you guys have Klay Thompson, who just came off multiple Achilles injury, Kyrie Irving, who's had multiple knee surgeries, Anthony Davis, who's been in and out of the lineup throughout his career. You mix them all together, the chances are you guys getting them all healthy is slim to none, and we just saw it play out. So I'm not buying that as an excuse. And the fact is that, like, when you look at this Dallas Mavericks team, it's like how everything transpired, it's like too orchestrated. Like, it can't just be specifically Nico Harrison or the owner's specific plan. This is like an NBA thing, because the NBA knows, Adam Silver knows, that the most marketable team, whether people like it or not, is the LA Lakers. Everybody knows the Lakers, whether they are a fan of basketball or not. And the Lakers aren't doing well. He could retire anytime, whether this season or next season. They need a star player, someone who's going to generate names, and who is someone that could do that? Luka Doncic, despite being in a not as big of a market compared to in LA, New York, Chicago, or Miami. Luka Doncic, people love him, and he's very marketable and famous. So let's bring him over here, and in return, we'll give you a break here and there. We'll give you the number one pick, and that's what transpired. And originally I was going to talk about just the reaction, just like, oh, how crazy it is, what a coincidence. But then I stumbled across a couple statistics that really opened my mind a little bit, that was like, something's different. Like, the NBA has a special relationship with the LA Lakers, or even LA teams in general, because I stumbled across this graphic where star players that are traded to the LA Lakers and or the Clippers the following year, or that same year I should say, they end up getting the first overall pick. And now this is the third time this happened, because back in 2011, Chris Paul, who was originally from the New Orleans Hornets at the time, he got traded to LA Clippers, and then the New Orleans Hornets, they ended up getting the number one pick, which turned out to be Anthony Davis. Funny enough, Anthony Davis, fast forward to 2019, when he got traded from the New Orleans Pelicans now to the LA Lakers, the Pelicans get the number one pick in Zion Williamson. Fast forward to today, Luka Doncic gets traded to the LA Lakers, and then the Dallas Mavericks, now they get the number one pick, most likely going to be Cooper Flagg, he, from what I'm hearing and what I'm reading, he's a really good player. He is really good on defense. He can guard between the guard position, the shooting guard position, all the way to the power forward, so he's really good at that. He's a good rim protector. He's great at rebounding. He's a very selfless player, so he'll open up plays. He's good at his playmaking, get passes going. Doesn't let the game rush him. He controls the pace of the game, which is very important and so necessary, especially in today's NBA, where everything's so high, fast paced, shooting threes, running back and forth. Like, the pace has just gone up, and the fact that he can control the pace at a very early young age, that's going to be a sign of success for him. Is his career going to be amazing and great? We don't know yet. That only time will tell, but he has all the positive signs and traits needed to be a successful player in the NBA, between his defense and controlling the pace of the game. So that's really good on that part. But even still, just the fact that if you want to get the number one pick, just trade a star player to LA. And the NBA has some sketchy history about it too, about this whole draft lottery. If you want to go back to 1985 with Patrick Ewing going to the New York Knicks because the little card that they had was like bent for New York. So the commissioner, David Stern at the time, rest in peace, he'll know, okay, this is the card we need to pick so he can go to New York. And then, and like this just, it's been an ongoing thing for many years, how the NBA has always had like these potential exposures. Are they corrupt? Are they being paid? Especially with the refs and everything like that, making all these blatant, obvious calls. And then now they came off another gambling scandal with Jonte Porter, Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, and then now potentially with Terry Rozier from the Miami Heat. It's just, which I'm going to get to very shortly on the Heat. It's just like, I don't know what more to make of this. It's like, I get it. It's supposed to be entertaining. I get they're trying to bring ratings. I know it's a business at the end of the day, but like the fact is that like, you don't have to make it too obvious. This isn't Hollywood, or this isn't like some scripted environment or whatever you want to call it. Like this is supposed to be like something for fun, and the integrity is that everybody has a fair chance, because a 1.8% chance, and they just somehow jumped up, especially given what just happened earlier in the season. It's like, just admit that you fixed it for them, or you made a deal under the table for that. Just, you might as well admit it up to this point, because nobody's stupid for that. But talking about the Miami Heat, though, I mean, funny enough, like, had the Heat missed the playoffs because they were the 10th seed to begin with, had they just threw away a few games, missed the playoffs, that pick that the Dallas Mavericks had was originally Miami's pick. So, and then Miami would have ended up, the following year, they would have ended up giving it to OKC. So the fact that Miami just like, their stubbornness was like, okay, we're going to make the playoffs, we're going to do this, and then get whooped out of the building. Like, now we got this whole corruption situation going on with the Mavericks, and it's just like, this is very frustrating as a Heat fan. But hey, I've been saying it multiple times, multiple videos, the Heat are very stubborn. I love them. They're my favorite team. I'll support them through. But like, they shot themselves in the foot, and had they just throw away a season which they knew they weren't going to make any noise anyway, or at least most of us knew, they could have ended up probably with the number one pick themselves, because that pick was originally Miami's from a previous deal they made, but then it got flipped to becoming Dallas because Miami made the playoffs. So that is what it is. And funny enough, like, I feel bad for teams that like they genuinely aren't that good, not because they throw away their season, but because they don't have the resources, or they can't get players to come to their team, and they still get screwed over, like the Detroit Pistons, for example. The Detroit Pistons for several years now, I mean, not this year, but especially like in the early 2020s, they were one of, not the worst teams in the NBA. And for 3 years in a row, they end up with the 5th overall pick, despite being either the worst team or the second worst team in the NBA between those multiple seasons. And they end up giving it to whether to Victor Wembanyama or to Orlando Magic with Paolo Banchero, the Spurs with Victor. It's just like, it's honestly ridiculous, like how like, or even the Atlanta Hawks this year, or last year I should say, like it's just crazy. It's just mind-boggling how it's supposed to be like fair and everybody given a fair chance, but it just, with the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama, it was too obvious even back then, because they wanted to give this potential generational star to the safest environment possible. Because if it was Orlando, if it was Detroit, if it was Houston, or any of those teams, they would not have panned out, or they would have somehow fumbled a generational talent like him. So the NBA is like, all right, we're going to protect this guy. We're going to give him the best coaching environment. We're going to give him the best pedigree, the best history involved team that happened to suck this year. We're gonna give him that number one pick. That's what the NBA did, because it was too obvious with the Spurs, and they've catered to him ever since. And the Detroit Pistons, I mean, they're the ones being left out, and now they have to, like, from the bottom up, build their way through. That's why I got nothing but respect for the management over there in Detroit, because despite not having much resources, they still try to make it work. So looking at this, I mean, the top 4 picks are going to end up being Dallas Mavericks, San Antonio Spurs, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Charlotte Hornets. So this is really crazy. It's ridiculous in my opinion, like how obvious, like it's very corrupt, and how like it just, you trade one star and you end up getting the one pick that same year. I'm just like perplexed by this. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think down below. And Mavericks fans, how you guys feel? Does this somewhat make up for the Luka trade? Does it not? Or fans in general, like Heat fans, how do you feel about like we could have ended up with the #1 pick ourselves, but we threw it away? I want to hear everybody on the comment section down below. And while you're at it, please like and subscribe to this channel. So I'd love and appreciate every single last one of y'all. God bless and talk soon.